Now it's time for the last and final panel discussion of KRS 2025, ladies and gentlemen. Retail 2025 and beyond, building for the next generation. Yes, as we move toward the final major session of the day, we present a panel that looks ahead where retail is going, how we prepare and how we build for future generation. This session is titled Retail 2025 and Beyond, Building for the Next Generation. In the world where consumer behavior changes fast, technology evolves and demographic shifts, this discussion aims to help us strategies for tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor to invite our moderator for this session, Mr. Ankur Agarwal, founder, Medkart Pharmacy. Can we have some big round of applause for Mr. Agarwal? We are fortunate to have with us a diverse panel of leaders and innovators across retail, manufacturing, dispersion, design and business operations, each bringing a unique vantage point on building what's next. Please welcome on stage, ladies and gentlemen, as our panelist, we have with us Anurag, Poddar, Director, Mohan Impressions Private Limited. Please continue with the applause. It's a request to everyone. Mr. Dhiman, President, Mishti Udyog. Executive Director, Keya Private Limited. Mr. Deepak H. Agarwal, founder, Onyx Solutions. Gautam Deka, proprietor, JN Electronics and Furniture's India's first rural LG Best Shop. Ifat Jahan, Director, Metro Supermarket Private Limited. Kunal Mordani, Director, Tanishka Retails Private Limited. Ravi Shankar, CMO, Krishna Bhumi Arcade. Mr. Shubhomoy Dotto, Director, Cook Me. And last but not the least, fifth generation business personality, Mohindra Dotto and Sons, founder and director and secretary, Bengal Business Council. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Shubhashish Dotto. CEO Imami Frank Ross. Ladies and gentlemen, can we have some big round of applause for the last panel of the day? And looking forward to it. It's going to be such a wonderful panel, I must say. And over to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much. A post-tea session, I believe everyone has open eyes, and we are looking forward to an intelligent and some really interesting insights, because as we move forward in retail, 2025 is gone. We have seen multiple things happening over the last 5 years, especially since COVID, how retail has changed, how retail has forced others to change, and how online has reshaped the way we think retail. So there has been a very big role of technology which is within the retail, technology which is outside the retail, which is affecting us. On top of it, the consumer behavior, the way there are changing expectations. We see D2C every day. We see disruptions every day. A lot of changes due to the current global situations when it comes to supply chain, which are affecting our daily retail operations. So, encompassing the entire thing, we look forward to an interesting discussion on how retail is going to be seen in the next probably 5 to 10 years, how things are going to affect, and how each of us, which are players in different domains, how we see things changing. Firstly, I would look forward to a round of introduction, starting with Mr. Das.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Agarwal, for moderating our last panel discussion. And thanks a lot to Atrayee for inviting me. And I am Dhiman Das from Mishti Udyog. I'm the president of Mishti Udyog. And I represent my family business. I'm the 5th generation of Keya Das Private Limited. Thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to thank Atrayee for giving me this opportunity to be one of the speakers in this esteemed panel. I am Shubhamay Datto, representing Cookery Spices. We are mainly into manufacturing of spices, and we have certain retail outlets also, catering directly to the customers.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Anurag from Presto, and we started our retail journey or business journey around 26 years back. This company was started by me, and I'm a first-generation entrepreneur. My father was a doctor. We didn't have a business to get into, and what we do is we personalize things for you. And during the panel discussion, we'll talk how COVID has forced us to remodel our own business model. And next 52 minutes, we hope that you have an engaging discussion with us. Thank you.
নমস্কার, আমি সুভাষিস দত্ত, বেঙ্গল বিজনেস কাউন্সিলকে রিপ্রেজেন্ট করছি অ্যাজ দ্য জেনারেল সেক্রেটারি। আর আমার পৈতৃক পরিচয় মহেন্দ্র দত্ত অ্যান্ড সন্স আর 5th generation. So as he said, he started 26 years back. I belong to the 5th generation of a startup which started in 1882. Almost 143 years in retail. Thank you.
नमस्कार, मैं गौतम डेका, मैं असम से हूँ। असम से हम लोग 2 आए हैं, एक विक्रम जी सर आए हैं और मैं आए हूँ। मैं पूरा रॉयल का हूँ, इसलिए मेरा बात करने का तरीका थोड़ा अलग है। मेरा मम्मी पापा बहुत छोटा उम्र में मेरा एक्सपायर हो गया था। मैं फर्स्ट जनरेशन बिजनेस में हूँ, जिसने -65,000 से बिजनेस किया था। मेरा कोई कैपिटल नहीं था, मैंने उधार लेके किया था। लेकिन उसके बाद मैंने घर घर में ये सिलेंडर बिका था, गैस पाइप, स्टोव। उसके बाद मैंने फार्मिंग सेक्टर में गया था। वो फार्मिंग सेक्टर में मैंने ऑल असम बेस्ट अवार्ड मिला था। चीफ मिनिस्टर टोन गोगोई सर और रॉयल मिनिस्टर चंदन मोहन सर ने मुझे अवार्ड दिया था। उसके बाद मैंने 2013 में इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स आइटम के लिए आया था। तो उस टाइम मैंने जैसे प्रोजेक्ट बनाया था, बहुत लोग मुझे साइको बोला था, क्या प्रोजेक्ट लेके आया था, एलजी बोला था ये नहीं होगा। लेकिन यही अभी हो गया इंडिया का फर्स्ट एलजी बेस्ट शॉप। और 2013 से लेके अभी तक मैं 2025 तक इंडिया का फर्स्ट रॉयल एलजी बेस्ट शॉप ही हूँ। और एक बात और है कि मैं नॉर्थ ईस्ट का हाईएस्ट सेल अवार्ड मिला था मुझे। उसके बाद मैंने अभी गांव में ही, जहाँ पे रास्ता नहीं है, ब्लॉक भी नहीं है, वहाँ पे मैंने अभी 32,000 का जो शॉपिंग मॉल अभी बना रहा हूँ, G+4। एक टाइम था मेरा 100 रुपया नहीं था चिकन खाने के लिए। अभी आप लोग का दुआ, मम्मी पापा का दुआ, सबके दुआ से मैं ईयरली 20 लाख चैरिटी दान करता हूँ। मैं गौतम देता।
Namaste, Rising Bharat. My name is Deepak Agarwal. I am a CA turned into marketing. And over 15 years, I have worked for many 5,000 plus clients from real estate, education, health, various industries startup in their marketing. We have built 60 crore datas in India. But आज के दिन जब हम देखते हैं भारत, हम जितना digital कह ले, AI कह ले, but there's a lot of transformation needed. So we have just started an initiative, Vocal for Local, called Love Desi. And we are here to help any Indian startup or local brand to promote. We are strong in marketing. We bring very economical and innovative solution. We have AI celebrity video. If you have seen my presentation, we can give you a celebrity at just zero cost kind of thing and help you in marketing. Would be looking forward to discuss more how we can do this in retail, how we can make more such stories across India, which is rising as well.
Hello, good evening. I am Gautam Jatia. I am the Managing Director and CEO of Imami Frank Cross. We manage two very popular Calcutta retail brands. One is Frank Cross Pharmacy. Set up in 1906, Frank Cross is one of the oldest and largest pharmacy chains in Eastern India. I also manage a bookstore chain called Starmark. I'm sure all those who are from Calcutta would be aware of Starmark, would have visited our stores. I'm very happy to be part of this diverse panel and was very inspired to hear Mr. Gautam Deka's story of how, he has transformed his business from very humble origins. So we can look forward to an interesting evening, interesting session of learning, and I'm very happy to be a part of this panel. Thank you.
Hi, good evening. I'm Ravi Shankar. I represent a group, Infinity. We are into the space of real estate development. We started IT development from Kolkata, Sector 5, Salt Lake. And I represent also an extended brand which is activated in Vrindavan by the name of Krishna Bhumi. We have delivered the first phase of our development over there, which constitutes of around 840 apartments and 135 villas. And we are coming up with a new concept there in Vrindavan, which is going to be the India's first religious and cultural product mall. It's a new category which we are evolving over there. And I look forward to have an interesting discussion today at this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Let me start with a very pestering question. Over the last 1.5 years, we have heard multiple times that the next phase of growth in India's retail, India's consumer story, will not come from the metros. It will come from the tier 2 and the tier 3 towns of the country. It is a black box for people sitting in metros to a certain extent that how the tier 2 and tier 3 cities, the consumer over there behaves. And how should we, who have traditionally been restricted to the tier 1 and the metros, change ourselves? Or how do we modify our approach to expand and take a bigger chunk of the pie in the tier 2 and tier 3 cities? So starting with Mr. Ravi, who has started something recently in Vrindavan, this question is for you, Raviji. Given that a significant portion of retail growth is now coming from tier 2, tier 3, how do you adapt your business model?
So we need to understand one thing very clearly over here, that in the consumer behavior, there is a dialectical relationship between the product and the consumer. What does it mean and how does it translate? That the product and its advertising and publicity, etc., plays a very important role in creating a consumer psyche, whereas there is also a reverse relationship at the level of product designing, where consumer actual needs gets translated into a product as a solution. Now, when we talk about the potential of tier 2 and tier 3 cities, if I talk about Vrindavan story, since we have been operative into that market since last more than a decade, I personally believe that the top-down approach does not work in these cities. What does it mean? It means that mostly what happens, we start thinking as a developer or as a product designer from our own ivory tower. We take up certain models of development which are prevalent in these spaces, and we try to put these models across. That doesn't work. Rather than that, we need to get into the reverse engineering. We need to get into identifying the real need of the people. When we got an opportunity while developing this project in Vrindavan of developing a commercial mall, we got with the similar set of challenge. One option which was there that we could have developed a mall space of 2.5, 3 lakh square feet, given area space, wherein you have a multiplex, you have got some multi-brand outlets, some single brand outlets, etc., and that would have probably created a brand matrix to run and operate. It looks a very familiar sort of composition. However, when we got to a detailed understanding of consumer behavior, we realized that this is not something which is really workable. Rather, we need to walk into something new. We need to innovate something new. And when we did a prototype study, we realized that the buying behavior of people, and I'm talking about annually 7 crore footfall. It's a big number by all means for any city to have economic boom, you know. We realize that this population which is floating in and out of Vrindavan has typically different kind of buying behavior. They are looking forward to buy something which is related with their religio-cultural belief system. And if we are able to serve that segment with those kind of product lines, probably it will be a winner. And that's how we got on to designing something. We had to create a new category altogether. That's how we are positioning ourselves as India's first religious and cultural product mall, because we see the great need of it. And that's something which is not only for Vrindavan, for other religio-cultural spaces which are upcoming as a major economic power centers are also probably going to adopt the same kind of designing pattern in times to come, be it the case of Kashi, Ayodhya, or Ujjain, you name it, Shirdi, so on and so forth. So if we talk about tier 2, tier 3 city, I think we need to understand the requirement. We need to go bottom up rather than top down in our designing process. We need to create and curate a space which can feed and which can serve the purpose of different segment of people who are gonna be the user of that space. So the first one is that who is going to be in those shopping spaces. So one, there will be people or brands who are into this category, because we are talking about $58, $59 billion worth market size, which is big in number, but if you look at the organized players, there are a handful of it, right? So the new brands, the new categories will emerge out of it. Secondly, we are also very careful about serving to that huge population which is already coming over there and staying over. Their stay over time in Vrindavan, if I talk about, is from 10 hours to 3 days. Now from 10 hours to 3 days, all they look at to buy something which is to do with the purpose for which they have come to the spiritual capital. So rather than reinventing the wheel, if we just understand the purpose clearly and we solve that problem, probably we will be able to figure out and find out the right solution of it. In times to come, this is going to amplify further. I'm very much sure about it. Why it was a dark zone or a black box, as sir suggested while asking the question, because there was not sufficient data available. Now, as the government agencies, developmental agencies are, putting across a huge budget to their developmental programs, they are coming up with too much of a stratified data, which can be a learning point for us on the drawing board to understand that what kind of product line, what kind of brand will work here or will not work here. I think my answer is clear.
Very interesting viewpoint, because one of the biggest tourism drivers in the country today is religious tourism. And the beginning of this year, we saw the largest congregation on earth, the Kumbh, which is a rightful testimony for the same. I would like to probably ask Mr. Gautam Deka on his perspective, because he has set out to do something, a 32,000 square feet space in the middle of nowhere where roads are difficult. So what is, आपका perspective क्या है गौतम जी?
मैंने अभी जो प्रोजेक्ट किया है उसके लिए मैंने बहुत कॉन्सेप्शन अपने आप किया है. तो फर्स्ट है कि मेरा स्टाफ में कभी टारगेट नहीं है. टारगेट के लिए उन लोग का आज तक नौकरी गया नहीं, लेकिन सर्विस, कस्टमर के साथ जो सर्विस है, अगर उसमें ख़राब हो गया तो उसका सर्विस क्विट होता है. तो कंसेप्शन क्या होता है, ऊपर से पानी नीचे आता ही है, वाटरफॉल, तो नीचे से हम लोग ऊपर लेके जा सकता है क्या? तब तो देखने के लिए आदमी ज़्यादा आएगा। तो मैंने जो जहाँ पे काम किया है वहाँ पे अभी इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स का तो 8000 स्क्वायर फीट है, फर्नीचर का 12000 20,000 स्क्वायर फीट अभी है। अभी 32,000 और मॉल के लिए बन रहा है। उसके लिए मैंने जो कंसेप्शन लिया है, मेरा जो सेंटर है वहाँ से 3 किलोमीटर, 5 किलोमीटर, 10 किलोमीटर, इससे मैंने 55 किलोमीटर तक मैंने खुद अपने आप से डाटा बनाया है। वो डाटा है कि कितना सर्विसमैन है, कितना बिजनेसमैन है, कितना एग्रीकल्चर है, कौन कौन एफर्ट कर सकता है, हमारे पास वो डाटा है। जो आप लोग सॉफ्टवेयर से करता है, वहाँ पे मेरा स्टाफ लोग करता है, तो रेडियस हिसाब से हम लोग करता है। तो उसी रेडियस से हम लोग प्रोजेक्ट बनाता है, बना के हम लोग देखता है कितना गवर्नमेंट स्कूल है, कितना गवर्नमेंट ऑफिस है। इस टाइप से हम लोग अभी से ही मार्केटिंग किया है। मार्केटिंग मतलब ऐसा नहीं है कि हमको सेल्स करना है, नहीं, हमारा ब्रांड को वहाँ पे सबमिट करना है, किसी को लेना है तो हमारे पास ही आता है। और एक खुशी बात है कि मेरा जो शोरूम है वहाँ से आज तक 100 सेल हुआ है। अभी मेरे पास डाटा है, जैसे कस्टमर फुटफॉल होता है, मेरे पास फुटफॉल नहीं है। गया मतलब खरीद के लेके आता है, क्योंकि मेरे पास फाइनेंस भी है, वो फाइनेंस हम लोग खुद करता है। NBFC है मेरे पास, वो फाइनेंस हम कर देते हैं। किसी का पापा उसका बेटा बेटी के लिए मोबाइल एक तो खरीदना है, पापा बोलेगा कि हाँ लेके आएगा, उसका पास है 3000 रुपया, लेकिन 20,000 का मोबाइल है। कहीं पे जाएगा तो वहाँ पे सिविल खराब है, वो है, लेकिन मेरे पास आने से कोई सिविल नहीं। जो आदमी खराब होगा वो सिविल खराब होने से भी होगा, सिविल ठीक होने से भी होगा। मेरा कंसेप्शन है कि उसको दे दो, वो जाके अपना बेटी बेटा के सामने तो वो हीरो हो गया ना। तो वो हीरो कौन बनाया है? हम लोग का ऑफिस बनाया है, हम लोग का शोरूम बनाया है कि उसका पापा और मम्मी हर दिन बेटा बेटी का सामने ही हीरो होता है, किसी के पास नहीं होता। अगर उसके पास जीरो होगा तो उसका लड़की बोलेगा आप मुझे एक तो मोबाइल खरीद नहीं पाता है, कितना ताना देता है। लेकिन वो कैसे मैनेज करता है वो छोड़ दीजिए। 3000 होता है, हर आदमी का बैलेंस थोड़ा ज़्यादा होता है, किसी का आईफोन मांगता है 1 लाख का, लेकिन 1 लाख का नहीं होता है, 20,000 है, वो डाउन पेमेंट हमको दे के आईफोन लेके जाता है। घर में एकदम उसका बेटी बोलेगा मेरा पापा ही एकदम पूरा बेस्ट पापा है। वो बेस्ट कौन बनाया था? हम लोग बनाया था। तो मेरा ऑफिस में जो आता है कंसेप्शन लेके आता है 32 इंच लेने के लिए, पहले 24 इंची, उसके बाद 32, अभी नहीं आता है। सब लोग आता है 43, 65, 70 इंची। आपको बोलने से ऐसा लगेगा कि क्या बोल रहा है, नहीं, उसके पास है 20,000 रुपया, लेकिन आ गया इतना बड़ा टीवी है। हम लोग समझाते हैं कि इसको देखिए आप तो एक बार लेता है तो एक बार आप बड़ा लीजिए। और ब्रांड, अभी गौतम डे का वहाँ पे ब्रांड हो गया है, वो ब्रांड मैंने खुद ऑनेस्टी से बनाया है। कोई नहीं, मेरा मम्मी पापा एक्सपायर हो गया था, -65,000 शुरू किया था, लेकिन मैं प्राउड से बोल रहा हूँ कि अभी गौतम डे का उसी एरिया में रेखा मैडम यहाँ पे है, रेखा मैडम गया था मेरे पास, उसको यहाँ से धन्यवाद ज्ञापन करता हूँ। और विक्रम सर भी है, वो भी गया था। मेरे पास जाने से आपको गाड़ी ऐसे नहीं जाता है, ऐसे जाएगा, मतलब आपको धक्का धक्का से जाना पड़ेगा, लेकिन जाके आपको ऐसा लगेगा कि ऐसे लगेगा। मैंने इस टाइप से बनाया है कि गांव में टाउन बना के रखा है। मेरा कैबिन में जाने से शायद जो जाएगा उसको मालूम होगा कि मैंने उसको कैसे बनाया है, उसको पूरा कॉर्पोरेट जैसा। टाटा का GM गया था, वो बोला कि इसका गांव में वो कॉर्पोरेट स्टाइल से चाय रहता है, चाय पानी सब इसी स्टाइल से होता है। तो आदमी लोग को हम बिजनेस नहीं करता है। मैंने आज तक किसी से बिजनेस किया नहीं। सब लोग बोल रहे हैं कि ऑनलाइन ख़राब किया है, वो किया है, वो किया ना। मेरे पास कोई ऑनलाइन का इफेक्ट नहीं हुआ है। मैंने कस्टमर बना के रखा है। मेरा क्या है, हम लोग अभी 5 to 25 ईयर्स तक जितना बच्चा लोग है उन लोग को भी फोकस करके रखा है। मेरा खुद का कंसेप्शन है कि पकड़ लीजिए सर का बेटे का साथ गया, अभी सर जितना एजुकेटेड होगा वो मालूम नहीं, लेकिन उसका बेटा उसको डिसीजन देता है कि टीवी ये लो, मोबाइल ये लो, फर्नीचर ये लो, इसका प्राइस इतना है, इसका है। मतलब आज अभी मैंने पूरा स्टाफ को ये बोल के रखा हूँ कि अभी कंसेप्शन सर को मत दो, बेटे को दो, बेटी को दो। बेटा बेटी को देने से वो लोग बाद में हमारा नेक्स्ट जनरेशन का बिजनेस हो जाएगा। अगर वो लोग आके हमारा ऑफिस में अगर एक चॉकलेट नहीं मिला, 5 साल का बच्चा आएगा, हाँ गौतम अंकल का वहाँ पे जाने से चॉकलेट मिलता है, टिफिन बॉक्स मिलता है, 100 रुपये का टिफिन बॉक्स मिलता है, उसको खाना मिलता है, तो बाद में बोलेगा ना अंकल पापा पापा वहाँ पे ही जाएगा। वो लोग आते जाते, उसका पास उसका 10 साल हुआ है, उसके बाद 15 साल हुआ है। मैंने इस टाइप से भी बिजनेस का थोड़ा ग्रोथ किया है, इसलिए मेरा ऑफिस में आपको चॉकलेट अवेलेबल मिलेगा, गिफ्ट आइटम अवेलेबल मिलेगा। तो क्योंकि और स्कूल में हम लोग स्कूल्स में अभी से ही पूरा मार्केटिंग करके रखा है। मार्केटिंग मीन्स नहीं, मैं वहाँ पे अभी एडवर्टाइज दे के रखा हूँ कि आप लोग ही हम लोग का नेक्स्ट जनरेशन का बिजनेस है। जैसे बोला है कि नेक्स्ट जनरेशन कैसे करता है, हम लोग नेक्स्ट जनरेशन बिजनेस ऐसे करता है, तो ऐसे हम लोग बोला है आपको। तो
नहीं, इट इज़ ओके, थैंक यू। आई थिंक जिस तरह से आपने कस्टमर, कंज्यूमर और इन्फ्लुएंसर तीनों को बाइफरकेट कर दिया और ग्राउंड लेवल रिसर्च को इस तरह से पकड़ा है, आई थिंक वो बहुत ज़रूरी है टू अंडरस्टैंड द मार्केट।
मैंने
वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग इनसाइट।
मैंने आज तक कस्टमर को रास्ते में मिलता है ना, कभी नहीं पूछता हूँ क्या लिया है, चाय पिया, नहीं पिया तो उसका गया सुपरवाइजर को जाके हम बोलता है कि 100 कोस, उसको 100 कोस करो, क्यों चाय नहीं पिया, क्या खरीदा, आज तक नहीं पूछा। मैंने 20 साल का अभी एक्सपीरियंस है, मैंने कभी भी स्टाफ को नहीं पूछा है कि आप लोग कितना सेल किया है। मैंने पूछता हूँ कि वो चाय पी के गया है कि नहीं। यहाँ से अगर फ़ोन आएगा तो हम यहाँ से स्टाफ को बोलते हैं चाय पिला के भेजना, तो सेल मत करो, सेल अपने आप हो जाएगा अगर वो सेटिस्फाइड होगा।
नहीं, very interesting. The kind of customer interaction that we would need to have an unsaid loyalty that has been built by Gautam, no doubt about it. Moving to the next big driver, which is technology, I would like to ask this question to Shubhamoy. With the new technologies, which is AI, data, analytics, and personalization, are you most excited about which one are you most excited about which will drive the retail growth and the customer engagement?
Thank you for the question. This particular topic, as suggest, should be crisp. I will not take much time. As far as this technology is concerned, yes, we are towards a paradigm shift where technology will be playing a vital role over here, because now what people wants, the taste and the preference and the want of the people has completely changed what they used to ask earlier. So it's more personalization, as Mr. Dekas told, that वहाँ पे आपको क्या वो customer loyalty build up करना, that improvisation is much more important. So I think for technology, the same thing should be there, where you should use the technology. In the coming years, there will be the use of technology in hyper personalization, right? So customer experience should be more driven towards technology. Suppose there are many stores abroad where already there are autonomous retail, where there are no cashiers, there are no person, just you can hop into the store, buy your, collect your products, go for the billing section, you give the amount where you have to pay, and you are out with a card. So there are augmented reality coming in. There is virtual reality. In normal, there are ample of examples where we have placed the scene, like in salons, as you may say, where a person who will visiting the salon or any retail shop goes just actually want to visualize himself or herself, how will he or she look. And as far as there, I have seen a video, very interesting one, there where it is shown in a garment shop, a particular brand was showcasing the particular, there is a very simple arrangement was made with the two glasses where you can put the fabric inside that has been cut out in a shape of a shirt, and you can visualize how the shirt will look like when it's in a fabric form. So it's obviously technology will play a very important role. Customer taste and preferences is very important, because now, as far as customer is concerned, they are not willing for any push mode. They want pull mode, whatever they want. That's why quick commerce is much more developing in tier 1 cities, and sooner or later it will definitely come in tier 2 cities and tier 3 cities as well. So being a manufacturing company ourselves, we are also been driven with the technology, not only in their operation, but for, again, if we want to relate to our customers, what customers are actually wanting. So we have recently, we are launching in the coming week only, that we will launching in a technology where every product will have a QR code. And each and every QR code you scan, you get a separate lab report, that is product analysis report. So a customer, what a customer wants, यहाँ पे बहुत सारा शोरगोल है कि customer, what companies are giving, what the brands are giving, but no one is actually taking care of that because there is a lack of transparency and all. So we as a brand, as a manufacturing company, we are also looking forward to that, so that a customer who actually purchasing the product has that particular experience, what he is actually consuming or she is actually consuming. So as far as retail market is concerned also, when you are going in an outlet, if you have a technology which is much more individual driven, that customer will get a sense of loyalty. Right. So it will always be very important, and I hope, obviously, technology and AI, maybe generative AI also, will play a very important role in long-term future.
Nick, I completely echo your views here, but at the same time, what I have seen in industries is that we talk about technology a lot. We talk about so many different tools that are at our disposal. But unfortunately, the success rate, and when I say success rate, which are actually of monetary or some kind of value to either the customer or us as the retailers, is probably 2 out of 10 or 3 out of 10. So it is important for us to understand that, yes, trying a technology is important, and making sure that anything which is not useful, which is not being used by the customer or us, should be immediately removed or overlooked, so as to look for the next technology which is being used.
Yeah, there are actually, I would interrupt, there are certain challenges, like obviously, as you said, that there will be an increase in operating cost, adaptability will be a major problem over there, and getting proper skill sets, that is also a problem.
Right. Deepak ji, I would like to ask you this question, that how do you face that technology being an enabler at one time, and at the same time there are challenges around it? How do you see this?
So I see always we are a human being, and survival to the fittest concept है. तो पहले जो टेक्नोलॉजी होती थी, आपको अगर ट्रैवल करना है दिल्ली टू कैलकाटा, तो आई एम श्योर मैनी ऑफ यू विल बी अमेज्ड अगर मैं बोलूँ कि माय ग्रैंडफादर हैज़ ट्रैवल्ड ऑन अ रोड, क्योंकि देयर इज़ अ कार, देयर इज़ अ ट्रेन, एवरीथिंग इज़ देयर. बट अगर बचपन में आई एम श्योर मैनी ऑफ यू विल रिमेंबर, आपको अगर एक मैप लाना है तो आप पापा या मम्मी को बोलते थे और वो अपने शॉप के बाद आपको ला के देते थे. टुडे यू डोंट नीड टू टेल योर चाइल्ड, बिकॉज दे नो कि स्विगी में जाके कहाँ से गूगल मैप मिलेगा, and they will order their chocolate or anything. So the technology is changing, and similarly you will have to think how your consumers are going to use that information. So we are living in an information technology where today customers are coming to you, like the customers are coming to Gautam's store and saying कि मेरे को ये टीवी लेना है, तो सेल्स पर्सन बताता है कि सर ये टीवी में ये फीचर्स है. आज के दिन में जहाँ पे ये टेक्नोलॉजी चेंज हो रही है, कस्टमर्स आके ना पूछते नहीं है कि कौन सी टीवी अच्छी है, वो बताते हैं कि ये मॉडल की इतनी इंच की टीवी इतने रुपए में मिल रही है, आप क्या बेस्ट प्राइस पे दोगे. सो यू हैव टू एनेबल योर बिजनेस ऑन दैट लाइन. अगर आप नहीं करते हो तो यू आर गोइंग टू लूज द बिजनेस. ऑफ कोर्स व्हाट यू हैव आस्क्ड अंकुर, CRM, customers loyalty, storing a data, all this is very important. So we have seen a brand जो पहले के टाइम में they were not collecting the customer data. Today they are thinking they have missed out a lot of things, because if they have a data of the customer, they can study and then do the marketing accordingly. So sharing with you, I don't know, many of you know or doesn't, like Mercedes India has no sales office in India. So Mercedes has closed down sales office because all the customers knows ki which model to buy, and YouTube पे वो videos available हैं, price available है. So they come to the place and just take a service. I was just sitting with someone, he flew down from Chicago and he brought a car of Tesla. So he was sharing his experience. He went, उसको अपनी car exchange करनी थी. So there was a message, you park your old car at this place. The car got locked. उसको नई गाड़ी मिली. He went to one parking lot number. He took that car and he was about to get everything formalities done. He shared he was not able to believe कि मैंने अपनी पुरानी गाड़ी बेच दी, ठीक है, एक parking lot में छोड़ के मेरे को नई गाड़ी मिल गई, ठीक है, and मैं वो लेके घर आ सकता हूँ. He went to the shop and said कि मुझे ना किसी से बात करनी है. मतलब I can't believe कि मैंने अपनी old गाड़ी बेच ली और नई गाड़ी ले आई. तो टेक्नोलॉजी उस लेवल पे चेंज हो रही है. We love to talk, but you have to understand those things in your business, and that is the thing you will have to incorporate whatever the challenge comes in your business.
Taking the cue from you, I would probably like to emphasize a point here. Technology, no doubt, is an enabler. It can, for running a retail business, we need two sides. One of the sides is the left brain and one of the sides is the right brain. The softer side cannot be substituted by technology, which is the customer experience when it comes to the warmth of the person on this side of the counter or this side of the table. However, on the other thing, which comes with information, which comes with analytics, which comes with any kind of information or intelligence which is a part of that same person, that, however, can be passed on to the technology side. But it is important for us to understand which part of the role at the retail level or at the organization level should be technology enabled and which part should be enhanced so that the overall customer experience that we want to project is rightly there. He feels the warmth, he feels the need to be there at the store to interact. As he said, मैंने गाड़ी बेच दी, मैंने गाड़ी खरीद ली, लेकिन मेरी इच्छा है किसी से बात करने की. अब उसको टेक्नोलॉजी रिप्लेस नहीं कर सकता है. So that is something that we cannot replace. So it is important for us to see which part of our business can be replaced. Coming to the other burning, or rather very highly burning topic of quick commerce, which has affected a lot of our business. As we said, it is something that everyone can catch up to very fast. I remember a time where tea was getting made at home and we ran out of biscuits. And by the time the tea was strained, biscuits had arrived. So quick commerce has changed the way we look at things. This question is for you, Mr. Anurag. Ki with quick commerce projected to grow 75 to 100% year on year, which is almost doubling every year, and outpace the growth of traditional retail. In fact, not outpace, I would say, cannibalize to a large extent the growth of traditional retail. How do you view this trend? Is it a threat or an opportunity or complementary channel to your business?
Thank you. That's a very interesting question, and the answer depends upon which category you are into. Fortunately, we are not very impacted by quick commerce as yet, because Presto is, it's not a stock and sell category. We are into personalization, and each and every SKU that we sell, that has to be made to order. The order comes first, we have to make it next, and then we deliver it. So it does not move out of the shelf. So we have stuck with that category, and of course in personalization, scalability is always a challenge. So possibly this category is not big enough for quick commerce to get into yet, and I hope they never get into it, but eventually it is going to happen. So quick commerce, has replaced, since I have to speak not only about what Presto does, I should be speaking about in retail in general. So I'll tell you something. In my I moved into my new neighborhood some 20 years back, and this, morning walk shopping that a lot of us do. So I was responsible for doing this bread and, small stuff, grocery shopping for my household. And there was this shop which was owned by Ramda. Da is, like bhai, what you say in Gujarat. Right. So he would be so busy all the time, and he would kind of, decide whom to serve first. And you are guaranteed to have a waiting time of around 7 to 10 minutes. The same Ramda 20 years back, now he's always, idle, and he doesn't have enough customers, and you can go and, he would always have more time than you want him to have. So what has changed is those customers have not, stopped coming. The place where I moved to was Newtown, which has quadrupled in population in last 20 years. So obviously there are more consumers. But what has changed is the buying habit. And that has happened at an amazing pace in last 7-8 years, helped by COVID a lot. So quick commerce is going to impact all retail, and it is already doing so. And there was a time when we, wished that Amazon would just go away. It did not. So many retailers had to, remodel, and no matter how much we hate their commissions and returns, we all had to, put our products in their FBA godowns. And same is going to happen with the quick commerce. And we, people who are into personalization, we are remodeling our product line so that it can be sold off the shelf. And so it is going to absolutely stay. However, I would also say that if your category is unique, don't act too ahead of the times. This reminds me of a small story which I read in Shiv Khera's You Can Win, wherein, the story goes like this. There was an uneducated balloon seller, and he was very enthusiastic about his business, and he would very enthusiastically sell his balloons. One day, his son, who graduated from a big university, he came into the village and told him, "Dad, do you know, in 3 months, a big recession is coming?" So father says, "Oh, is it so? So what should I do?" "You should buy lesser balloon. You should spend less time in your business, and you shouldn't be so enthusiastic about your business anymore." So he, of course, heeded the advice of the son because he's more educated. And gradually, he was less enthusiastic about his business. He bought lesser balloons, so he sold lesser balloons. As he was spending lesser time in the business. So in 3 months, he said to his son, "Son, you were so right. Recession has come. You see, I'm selling half the balloons which I used to." Whereas it would have absolutely had no effect on his business. So point being that we have to all understand our strengths while we are fighting this, change that is happening around us. We also have to understand our core strengths, and we shouldn't be acting ahead of times. That, of course, I'm not saying that we should not act at all, but we should all understand what inherent strengths we, each one of us has. And life goes on in cycles, bell bottom, once it goes out of fashion, it is guaranteed to come back, because there's no other way. How many kinds of trousers are you going to have? So same goes with retail. Someday, brick and mortar retail would have its own, fashion, and then many categories are such where, the human interaction is unreplaceable. Yes, there are more disposable categories where, you don't need this experience at all. Over there, this impact is there and it is going to stay. But you still go to a restaurant to fill your tummy, right? You can order food from Swiggy and all. But we go to a restaurant for the atmosphere. That is a time when we are forced to keep our phone down because those guys are charging you so much. So, which may not happen at the home. So, so there are certain categories which are going to get more impacted by quick commerce. Now, specifically, your question was whether it is a threat. So it's a threat if you do not remodel yourself. If you do not participate, then obviously it's a threat. Is it an opportunity? Certainly it is. If you make it your friend, quick commerce, or any new challenge that comes your way, you participate, it becomes your friend. And so these in your life cycle, these kind of challenges will keep coming. And what I hear from my son, he understands technology better than me, and he has fortunately joined business in last 5 years. So what changes we have not seen in last 5 years, we will see far-reaching changes in next. And possibly the next generation is the one who is more attuned or competent to adapt to those changes. we have grown in our old-fashioned ways, and we are going to live in our old-fashioned ways to some extent. And it is very important for the next generation to get into the business, so that they adapt the changes and remodel the company for each one of us. And many of you are second, third, fourth generation entrepreneurs. So it's good that you guys have joined your family businesses, which is a rarity these days. So so this is my answer to your question.
Nick, well appreciated that, given the fact that globally, India lags in the e-commerce segment, but again, in the same global context, India is leading in the quick commerce segment to a very large extent. So what could not survive India in terms of penetration in e-commerce, we have done outstandingly well, where the initial thoughts about quick commerce was, who is going to pay a convenience fee in India which is unwilling to pay another 10 rupees. But facts as is, history proves itself otherwise. Quick commerce has been an outstanding success. No doubt that companies are burning like anything, but even the buyers are adopting quick commerce like crazy. So yeah, it'll be a lot to see who wins, who adapts, who could not. But yes, giving rest to the quick commerce part of the question here. The next one is more directed towards normal commerce, e-retail. So the question here is to Gautam ji here, Gautam Jatia ji. Given the projections that e-retail market will grow at around 18% annually and is expected to reach around $170 to $190 billion by 2030, what are your biggest bets to capture value in this digital surge?
So thank you, Ankur. So let me tell you, there's no doubt that technology is the biggest disruptor. And if you see, 1990 was when we had the first website. And 1994, we had the birth of Amazon. So it's not been, very long back, about 30 years. And then 1996, we had the birth of the search engine Google. And with these things, then you had Netflix. I think Netflix was formed in 1997. So what I would like to tell you is technology impacts your daily life, and obviously it impacts retail. Now the question is that there is the cost of technology. There is the convenience of technology. There is a whole ecosystem of logistics, ecosystem of marketing. And the problem is that very few product companies which do not have their own brand, who are merely traders, have been profitable in the technology business. Companies which have their own brands, they have done well, because today technology gives them distribution. There are so many companies which do not have a physical store. They do not have distributors, but they are on the marketplace. And being on the marketplace, they are doing huge businesses. So I feel that we must see what actually technology does, how we can leverage it. Yes, I totally agree that we can never discount the human experience. We can never discount the personal touch. Like Mr. Gautam Deka said, his first question to his salespeople is, ki garam chai pilaya ki nahi? So the thing is that technology can't do. Amazon can't offer you a cup of hot tea. So I feel technology is the way to go. And fortunately or unfortunately, I've been in businesses which have been severely impacted by technology. So let me share with you, Stamark is one other hat I wear. We are in book retail. So Amazon came. So with Amazon came the long tail. A bookstore can carry how many titles? Today, we have a very large bookstore, but we don't carry more than 30, 40,000 titles. But Amazon has an infinitely long, inventory. Then we were into music. Today, you don't hear of cassettes. You don't hear of, LPs. There's no CDs. Now what's there? MP3, streaming. Then we were into music, movies, DVDs. There's no DVD now. You have Netflix. And Netflix is relatively young, 1997. They started their business. They used to rent DVDs. You could order a DVD on mail. Then we got the Kindle. You don't need to buy a book physically. You can download the book. But you'll be surprised to know bookstores are surviving. They are doing very well. I often go to New York to visit my son. There is an iconic bookstore called The Strand. It's packed with people. It's packed with people, and where? In New York, which is you could say, the hub of technology. So people also want experience. So there will be a balance between customer experience and between what you call convenience. And technology can really help our business. Now OpenAI has come. OpenAI, 2015 was the birth of this generative AI. Now it's becoming, in common usage. You can just go to AI and ask which restaurant to visit, what best route to take, what flights are convenient. So meaning it's now coming into mainstream. It will impact retail also. So all I can say, it's a huge, huge opportunity. Brick and mortar will coexist with, e-commerce. Now you have quick commerce. So quick commerce is something new. It's very popular in India, but not in the Western countries, because of the fact that it's very expensive to give that 19-minute delivery or a 4-minute delivery. There the manpower costs are very high, and in India also salaries are going up. So contrary to what we feel that quick commerce will be a big disruptor, the cost of quick commerce will become prohibitive. The dark stores required, the logistics cost involved, the manpower cost involved, the inventory. So I don't think it's going to be such a big threat. But yes, e-commerce is there to stay. It will coexist. And we need to adapt. Now we talk of omni-channel. And I think almost all retailers will have to opt for an omni-channel approach. Thank you.
Mr. Dhiman Das, you are from, I would say, a business of decades, if not centuries. This part of digitization or e-commerce, how does it impact a legacy business like yours? And how does it benefit a legacy business like yours?
Thank you very much for this question, because there are some others in the audience who are also in my same business, and for centuries, for more than a century. And all of us, what we have actually experienced, mainly after COVID, is the category of customers, the personalization has changed quite a bit. People are staying at home and ordering, mainly because of this revolution which has brought about by Swiggy and Zomato. Most of us in the food business are forced to, enroll there, because most of the customer segment has been converted into the e-commerce category. And also there has been demand from abroad. I have someone here who has traveled, I think, more than 50 kilometers and come here. A very famous sweet shop in Chandanagar, Jalbhara Shujo Kumar Modok. The owner is here, Mr. Shoibal Modok. He has come. And I think he sells a considerable amount of Jalbhara outside India than he sells from his counter. So that, those logistics have developed, and people actually are staying at home and want to order from home. If not, they are ordering in bulk, like in marriages or any other festivals. When they are ordering bulk, only then they are coming. But otherwise, that percentage, I think, there are 5 to 6 sweet shops here, like Mithai is here and Batai Mishtanno Bhandar, Sri Krishna is there. I think most of them will agree with me that this percentage has changed. I know of a sweet shop, very, very, well-known sweet shop, who boasts that he sells around 60 to 70% through e-commerce than in his counter sales shops.
I appreciate that because I have myself seen that there are some platforms like, I don't remember exactly the name, but I believe it's the Flavors of India or Taste of India and such who are sourcing. Suppose you want a Banarsi laddu from Banarsi Mishtan Bhandar, Kanpur, or you want something from Pune or something from Jaipur, and they are able to give it to you all the way anywhere in the country for in a certain number of hours, of course. But it is not just local quick commerce or local Swiggy Zomatos. It's a national, and as you rightly said, I didn't know much about international demand because I know that carrying food outside itself in certain countries is a big challenge, let alone...
I don't know the trick. He doesn't share it with us. Mr. Shoibal Modok, can you please tell us how you manage the international sales? Please, because you will not tell me personally. I am using this platform.
That has been his trade secret.
Internationally, through courier, DHL, through DHL, we send all over.
No, but about what about the compliances and norms about the food which he rightly pointed out that there are huge restrictions like in Australia mainly and US also.
Australia and UK.
Okay.
UK.
So do you need to give some?
There is no entrance of milk product at UK.
Okay.
Okay.
Through courier.
So you are only sending to US and?
US and other, where the DHL,
only leaving UK?
Where the service DHL
provides, yes. মানে সেখানে আপনি পাঠান DHL যেখানে আছে
DHL এর সার্ভিস আছে সেখানে
जहाँ भी DHL है DHL एक ही Blue Dart doesn't
Blue Dart भाई
Blue Dart भी करता है
नहीं completely understand that it's a
আর আমাদের দেশের মধ্যে ওই ডিটিডিসি সারা ইন্ডিয়া সর্বত্র যাচ্ছে
আচ্ছা
Food actually is a very, very big business, not just to export, but because the Indian diaspora across the world is now multiplying. And they don't want to leave that samosa or the rasgulla. No matter where they are, you walk out of Paris North Station and there is a road which is called the India Street. And both sides of the road you find endless Indian restaurants. And it's the same story in Oslo, and it's the same story in a lot of places. So food is something that, wo samosa to chahiye. I don't know whether India is 20 rupees, there it is $2 or $3.
So I would like to say this, Ankurji, ki we Indians love our Indian food. And McDonald's hasn't been such a success in India. But if you take the consumption of chai or we call singhada or sweets, it's a huge, huge consumption. One thing I wanted to also share with you all, that technology is helping the established brands. But today for a new brand which does not have a strong physical presence, generating online sales is very expensive. It's prohibitive. So a Balram Mollik or a KC Das with one store very strategically located in Chorangi gives them the type of brand recognition you could never think of creating online, and the amount of digital spends you have to do would be like crazy.
Completely there. In fact, I remember way back in Gujarat, we have a sweet shop chain, and now everything there is Gwalia. And they have franchises in US and Canada. And one of my friends owns the Canada franchisee, and he says, it is amazing because the demand of food in that outlet, no matter I am from Ahmedabad, I have tasted the food there, it is in no comparison with what we get here in Calcutta. Believe me. But a Gwalia opening a franchisee chain in the US and Canada, I think there are a lot more things that are going to come out of India now than the McDonald's will get in India. So yes, digital is one big...
I would share one thing, even the cost also, if you think, I was just going through a menu chart of a sweet shop in London, proper London, where they're selling one rasgulla, at £1, which is, I think, 115 rupees now. And it is selling there.
So
it is there.
Wanted to just share, जो आपने बोला ना समोसा रसगुल्ला का चाव है, I run an initiative called Vocal for Local. So we are running a campaign, Ghar Aaja Pardesi. We're promoting Indian brand. So we are just exhibiting in Singapore, Marina Bay. So we were talking of doing a high tea, dinner, everything. So the committee association president said कि दीपक कलकत्ता से आ रहा है तो क्या ला सकता है. So dinners, cocktail सब भूल गए. नेट कंक्लूड ये हुआ कि समोसा आ जाए, मिठाई आ जाए, जल भरा और चाय आ जाए बस. तो हमारा ना वो डायफोरा का काम हो गया. वो जैसे हमने बोला कि सारे 600 मेंबर्स हैं, मैं 200 मेंबर्स को पक्का बुला लूँगा, बट मे बी डिनर ये सब के लिए कोई नहीं आएगा. सो ऑफ कोर्स फूड इज़ अ बिग बिजनेस. There are a lot of people who send dal makhani, paneer. I was sitting with a client in Gujarat. They send 500 kgs to Canada. MTR does a fabulous business. They do around 1,200 crore rupees. 500 being a domestic market, 700 export market for them. So it's a big, big business always.
Just to probably highlight here, Haldiram's international business is the biggest driver why PEs are so much interested in investing in Haldiram, which was nowhere the case before. Because India में उनका business बहुत छोटा है. बाहर their business is in pounds and dollars, which is very big. Now, so coming to the last but very pertinent question, we have always seen that in India, organized retail as a percentage of the overall retail has been in single digits, and that too lower single digits. Whichever is the category, whether it is grocery, whether it is pharmacy, whether it is food, how many food chains do we have? And what is their sales revenue as a percentage of overall industry has been in lower single digits. And it has been a perpetual challenge. There has been significant regulatory and non-regulatory risks and compliances. But this question is for you, Subhashish, that organized retail is projected to grow strongly, but with rising cost, the expansion into organized retail, is it still sustainable, more so in small towns, or could it backfire?
I definitely am optimistic that organized retail is only going to grow. And more than that, of course, firstly we discussed about e-commerce, and then we went on the discussion about quick commerce. But again, retail, as we know, and organized retail, more to say, is going to be there. And why it's going to grow is because, you have these new townships coming up, and there's development all over. The smart city initiative, as Sir was saying, is opening up in Vrindavan. And so these cities are going to grow. And as a result, of communities grow, we need community spaces, and retail is one major ingredient in that. So hence, I'm very optimistic about it, though I'm seeing time's up. So I'll just continue for just 2 minutes. So we were talking about real estate with Sir a while back, and the surging prices. So that becomes a problem and impediment for growth. And it's so true that when we were thinking about our store expansions in the city, it was easier for us to get a store in the city, but not in outskirts like Amtola or Kachrapara. So when we went to Kachrapara, we were surprised that they are in big digits. The store costs, the rentals are huge. With that, I could have 2-3 stores in Gadiahat. So that is the challenge that we are facing in the outskirts. And so to say, even in smaller cities, which are not as developed, not as planned, probably those costs will be there. But with new townships, of course, this problem can be solved.
One more risk that we have as organized retail is control systems, consistency across. And because it is easy to manage a cluster of stores, tier 2, tier 3 happens to be very small clusters. And if you're not able to maintain the same service standards, it's very easy for a traditional mom and pop store to overshadow your bigger brand, because he is so much more flexible. He or she is so much more flexible, whereas we have systems and processes we need to follow, which at times make us so, I would say, the response time is much higher.
That's absolutely true. Mr. Tekka was talking about his personalized, treatment, the way he treats his customers. So it will not be true for a store which he'll open in Guwahati, for example. So he'll not be there. He doesn't know the customer personally. So probably the person out there wouldn't be trained enough to, greet the customer the same way he does. So that is a challenge that we also face when we have, stores outside. Say we have a store in Durgapur. So I don't see that level of personalization which I have in my College Street store. So that is a challenge which will always be there. To an extent can be, maybe supported by technology, but definitely that level of personalization cannot be copied.
I completely understand, and we know that these are challenges that we need to overcome in order to take Indian organized retail to somewhere close to the international ones. The international ones are far, far higher, but with more favorable labor laws and things like that, probably we are on the track to somewhere move closer to it. With that, we come to an end to this discussion. Thank you everyone for your precious time, taking out time from your daily schedules.